Welcome back once again to Uniontown, Pennsylvania, the 2013 USCAA National Basketball Championships. Once again, we have Division II men's action for you over here in the Maltho Gymnasium as the number 4 seed Penn State Beaver will deal with the number 5 seed Central Penn College. I'm Brian Gardner once again with the play-by-play. Alex Moore, my producer, Buzz Mead, working the camera. And the story in this game between these two fairly evenly matched teams, Penn State Beaver, a 20-7 record, Central Penn, 17-10. It's a play of the All-Americans, the Bears of Penn State Beaver, the Lions of Penn State Beaver, with two All-Americans, a freshman forward and a junior guard. It's a forward-guard tandem that has been lethal for them throughout the year. Robert Eggers, the freshman forward from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He scores about 22 points per game. He averages high up in the rebound totals around 7. Also 3 assists and 3 steals per game for Eggers. Their guard high flyer is Nick Miller. Nick Miller, the junior guard, averages 19 points per game. He also can dish it out a little bit, 4 assists per game to go with 3 steals and 4 rebounds. We're going through the starting lineups right now here at the Maltho Gymnasium. The Nittany Lions, just the Lions, the Penn State Beaver Lions, not Nittany. This is a branch campus of Penn State University. They will be wearing their road silver jerseys. The home silver jerseys with the navy blue trim and the Penn State logo down on the shorts, navy blue letters and numbers. For the visiting Central Penn Knights out of Enola, Pennsylvania, the visiting jerseys in the maroon with the white trim, white letters, and white numbers. Penn State Beaver making some noise over on the left side of the court, getting fired up their pregame ritual as a more subdued sight on the other end of the court in front of the Central Penn bench. All they do is put their hands in and simply say, team on 3. They'll break the huddle. And for Central Penn, you have to keep an eye on the All-American sophomore forward, Devin Dorsey. Dorsey will be starting this game, number 23 in red. He's a very good player, 23 points per game this season. He also rebounds at a high rate, 13 rebounds a game. A thief as well on the defensive side, 2.5 steals per game. Those are the key players, and we are set to get it underway as doing the honors for Central Penn will be Dorsey. He will jump against Chris Weathers for Beaver. It will be controlled by Central Penn, and once again, we are underway here from Uniontown. Thanks for joining us on Turbo Sports. Already a whistle, and they're going to need to set the shot clock. They forgot to start it, and 7 seconds gone, so they can simply just subtract the 7 seconds. We'll see if that's something that's broken or something that was a failure. They're going to have to run it off. It looks like run all 7 seconds off, but it was also running the game clock. The game clock had read 19:53. It now reads 19:49. The shot clock has 31 seconds on it. So they reset it, and now the game clock's right. The shot clock only lost 4 seconds, but they're going to play that way. All right, here we go with the Knights with the basketball. High post for Dorsey. Kick it out and swing it into the corner for Montez Lacey. Fired from 3, no good. Rebound goes to Beaver. Marcus Royster the other way. He'll leave it off for the cutter, and the layup is attempted by Weathers. He will be fouled. Chris Weathers will head to the line. Weathers, the 6'3 junior from New Brighton, Pennsylvania. He'll go through his motion, number 21 in the home silver jersey. Shot is up and good. 12 points per game for Weathers. He's just a 55% free throw shooter. Looked to have a pretty good stroke on that first one. Second shot is up and good. 2-0 the score here with 19:37 to play in the first. Going to work for the Central Penn Knights is Anthony Claggett. Up ahead, firing from 3, Kirkland. Wes Kirkland knocks it down. 3-2 now the score. 19:23 to play here in the first. Tumbling to the hardwood away from the basketball once again was Weathers, and that's already 2 fouls on Michael Troutman. Number 32, his second, the team's second. It's been 38 seconds. He has 2 fouls, and he's not coming out of the basketball game. Inbound will go to Weathers. Weathers drives, layup, and that's pretty. Chris Weathers found his way into the lane and an easy layup with the right hand. Devin Dorsey handling against some pressure. In the full court, they'll get it across. Dorsey has to track down the pass in the corner. It looked like he bought that foul a little bit as he flailed his arms. He was hit. And it will stay with Central Penn. 19:03 to play here in the first half. 4-3 the score. Beaver leading Central Penn. The layup by Dorsey, and he puts it up and in and make that 5-4 in favor of Central Penn. Here comes Chris Weathers. Weathers opposite side for Nick Miller. Miller fires for 3, and he can do that. Nick Miller, the All-American, making him pay. 7-5 to score. 18:43 to play in the first. Motoring up the other way, Anthony Claggett. Claggett will handle and wait. Claggett right side. Drayton thought about the 3, instead he drove. A floater is good. We are square at 7 aside. 18.5 minutes. Miller. Left side for Royster. Royster faces up. Handles and drives, and he went to the floor, lost his footing. Could again be that slick court coming into play. The other way is Claggett. Claggett back out to Montez Lacey. Lacey right side for Drayton. Drayton will drive. Puts it up, and he's blocked on the attempt by Julian Taylor coming on the backside. Taylor, the senior forward from Rochester, Pennsylvania, picks up the block. At 18 minutes, driving here and laying it in is Claggett, and it's now 9-7. Nick Miller for the Lions of Beaver. Put the shot up and good. A nice attempt there by Chris Weathers on a beautiful dime from Miller. Penn State University Branch Campus Beaver. They are tied up with Central Penn. Squaring up left side now, and they'll move it around for Claggett. Claggett gets it over to Drayton. Drayton looked at here by Royster. Down low, and it's stolen away by Weathers, but the outlet looking for Royster doesn't get there. And now we have a foul. Looks like it's going to go against Beaver. That will go against number 23. That is Devon Dorsey. So it'll be a foul going against Central Penn. That's how it's announced. That doesn't seem right. Now they're going to try and reset this. That was what was announced on the PA. They put up 2 and a 3. There is no 32 or 23 on the floor wearing silver. So they're going to have to adjust that as the ball belongs to Central Penn. All right, so that will go instead against number 3, Rob Aggers, the freshman, the All-American from Pittsburgh. 17:24 to play here in the first half. It's 9-9, Beaver and Central Penn. The inbound goes into the corner. They'll swing it. Ball over his head, Montez Lacey. He'll get it over to Lamar Drayton, and Drayton waits. Ball hanging below his knees. He'll move it to the left side. Looking at the shot as Claggett doesn't decide to take it. Back out towards the point. High post Lacey, down low. Dorsey puts it up, missed it. Rebound Dorsey again, and he got it to go. Devin Dorsey. 11-9 the score. Handoff for Miller. Nick Miller back out towards the point guard, and this is Marcus Royster. Royster, right side, he'll hand it off for Miller. Miller crossing, picks up his dribble. Cutting his Aggers, he puts it up, and he missed the jump shot from the elbow. Rebound goes to Dorsey. Dorsey up ahead to Drayton. Drayton now pushing. Clog it up and under. He missed it. Rebound, however, controlled by the Knights. Back up and in goes Wes Kirkland on a little jump back putback. 13-9 Central Penn leading Penn State Beaver. 16-16 to play here in the first half. Left side Miller. Miller driving back towards the point. He will leave it off for Weathers. Weathers, handoff Aggers. Aggers pull up, jumper, got it. Rob Aggers makes it a 13-11 basketball game. 15:55 to play here in the first half. Setting things up, the point guard Anthony Claggett, the senior from Washington, D.C. Looks at it and he finds his man firing away from three is Drayton. He missed it, tipped around and eventually pulled in by Weathers. Here comes Weathers up the other side. Into the corner, Aggers decided not to take it. Jab step, he drives, but he stepped out of line. On the dead ball, some substitutions as Mike Martin checks in for Beaver. Into the game for Central Penn will be Keith Wilson as well as Leonard Chester. Heading to the bench, Claggett and Kirkland for Central Penn. Also into the game was Connor Arnold. He sent Lamar Drayton to the bench. Here's Keith Wilson. Will take it and drive, kick out corner, fired from Arnold, and he buried it. Connor Arnold puts in the three, and he extends the lead to 5. 16-11 the score, 15-13 to play here in the half. Miller goes behind his back and sets something up. Nick Miller moves around a screen. Miller, opposite side, Aggers now kick out the three, launched and buried by Chris Weathers. 16-14 the score. Serving as the point guard, Montez Lacey. Lacey up ahead for Keith Wilson. Wilson back to Lacey. Backdoor pass, and he couldn't handle it. It's going to be out of bounds, though. Last touch. They're going to stay by Julian Taylor. It hit off the hands of Leonard Chester. He could not pull it in, and Taylor touched it before it went out of bounds. So it'll be last touch by Beaver, and it'll stay with Central Penn after the timeout on the floor. 16-14 is the score of the basketball game. Central Penn leading Penn State Beaver. Anaconda Sports, provided by Lids Team Sports, is the official sporting goods provider of the USCAA. For over a century, Anaconda Sports has provided quality athletic apparel and equipment to student athletes. To learn more about Anaconda, visit their website at www.anacondasports.com. We'll step aside. Once again, the score: Knight 16, Lions 14. It's USCAA hoops here on Turbo Sports. Back to basketball here in Uniontown. Central Penn leading Penn State Beaver 16-14 the score here with 14:47 to play in the first half. They will inbound. Back out to the left side, and it'll be out of bounds. They're going to say last touched by Keith Wilson. Wilson can't believe it. Number 11 in the burgundy. With 14:45 back to Beaver. Here's Robert Aggers. Aggers will bring it up the forward. He stands at 6'4". The freshman crossing and handling. He's going to use a screen here. Aggers can't find his way in, and he does. Layup, and he got it to go. Lefty layup there by Aggers with a tight little window to fit through, and he completed the play. We're all square at 16. Here is Wilson. Back to the left side. Arnold for the cutting Leonard Chester, and there's going to be a foul on the floor. That will go against Penn State Beaver. Chris Weathers his second. So to the line to shoot a pair will be Leonard Chester. Chester of the Central Penn Knights, a 50% free throw shooter, makes the first. Weathers to the bench. He'll be replaced by Julian Taylor. Got one more here for Chester. 5 points per game this season. Shots up and good. There's a whistle and a foul after the shot is up, and it looks like they're going to call it against Devin Dorsey. .14 to play here in the first half. It's 18-16. So that bucket did count on the free throw. It just, all it is a foul on Dorsey. And that could be coming to play later depending on how this one shakes out, because Dorsey, of course, the All-American for Central Penn. 14:04 to play here in the half. Here's Agers. Agers looking for Miller. Instead, he'll go backside of Horton. Thought about the three. Instead, the cutting Julian Taylor missed the layup. The rebound is batted around, saved in the corner by Beaver. Here's Agers. Agers looking at Mike Martin. Instead, he'll reset. 29 seconds on the shot clock. Right side looking at a three and thinking better of it is Pat Horton. Horton back from Miller. Miller kick out Horton. Horton fires this time. Well short. Rebound on the move, Keith Wilson. Wilson motors up. Two-step into the lane. He missed the layup. The rebound is tipped up and no good, but the other way now comes Beaver. Nick Miller, kick out for the layup from Agers. He blew it, and the rebound controlled. Kick out once again. Miller, a lefty three, air ball, and into the hands of Leonard Chester. Chester finding a guard. And again, it'll get it back to Chester, who handled it and almost lost it, into the hands of Montez Lacey now. Lacey calls out for motion. Right side they go, Keith Wilson. Wilson lost his handle, and it's on the floor. Back out for Dorsey. Dorsey drives left hand, but it's up with the right and in. Nick Miller walks up for Beaver, number 14 in the silver jerseys, with a blue trim letters and numbers and the Penn State logo on the shorts and right below the neck. It simply says Beaver across the chest as Agers will drive. Opposite side, Millers tees it up for three. No good. Rebound tracked down on the move by Lacey. Lacey spins and goes. And he almost got away with over and a back there, but it's turned over to Miller. Miller in and out dribble, spin move, pull up, and he missed it. Oh, that would just not fall off the glass. The other way. Here come the Knights. Taking it all the way is Wilson, but he's going to be called for a travel. We got a horn sound and a substitution coming in for Central Penn. It'll be Will Workland checking into the game. For Penn State, Royster back in. And Marcus Royster will serve as the point guard. Royster left side. Drives and he puts the layup up in it. Oh, they're going to call a foul. It's going to be an offensive foul at charge against Marcus Royster. Under 12 minutes now, 20-16. The Knights leading the Lions of Penn State Beaver. Central Penn with the basketball and that 4-point advantage. The inbound will go to Keith Wilson. Wilson, the freshman from Newcastle, Delaware. He picks up his dribble before he crosses the timeline. Eventually they get it loose. Arnold for three. A little bit strong. Rebound into the hands of Taylor. Taylor once ahead for Royster. Marcus Royster, left side Agers. Agers drives into the lane, floats, puts it up. No. Batted around out of bounds. And it's going to be Knights basketball. 11:36 to play. 20-16 to score. Inbounding will be Arnold as a substitution. Agers sent to the bench and Weathers in for Beaver. All right, so here's Keith Wilson. Wilson serves as the point guard. Where's number 11 in those maroon jerseys? Getting it across the timeline. 4-point advantage for his Central Penn Knights. Right side with the basketball. Here's Lamar Drayton. They'll move it over to the left. Arnold kicked it back out. A long jumper from Workland. He missed the three. The rebound all the way back to half court, and it was controlled by Central Penn but turned over to Beaver. Here comes the layup from Julian Taylor. It's good. Now a long outlet pass for Dorsey, who can't answer. Rebound to Taylor. 10:55 to play here in the first half. Here's Royster. Handoff. Weathers in rhythm. Cannot hit the jump shot. Rebound into the hands of the Central Penn Knights. Will Workland. Here's Wilson. Two-step kick out. Arnold for three. No good. Offensive board for Dorsey. He gets it into the hands of his teammate Workland. Kicked it back out eventually. Wilson for three. And Keith Wilson, the freshman, makes him pay. 23-18 the score. 10:22 to play here in the first half. Weathers goes to work. On the right wing, he moves it out towards the point. Crossover, pick up the dribble. Get it over to Taylor, and now left side handling it is Martin. Martin back for Weathers. Both Agers and Miller are set to check in at the next dead ball for Beaver. Driving Taylor, puts it up. He missed it, and he kicked the ball out of bounds actually himself. That should be Central Penn basketball. It's going to be Agers and Miller checking in for Martin and Taylor after the timeout on the floor. 9:58 to play in the first half of this basketball game. It's a 5-point advantage for the Central Penn Knights. Nemacolin Woodlands Resort is the presenting sponsor of the 2013 USCAA Basketball National Championships. Nemacolin is a family and luxury vacation destination on 2,000 wooded acres in the Laurel Highlands of southwestern Pennsylvania. From a luxurious Forbes 5-star AAA 5-diamond Falling Rock Boutique Hotel to the comfort of your RV, Nemacolin's 6 lodging options cater to everyone's personal choice with a variety of amenities. It's another season at Nemacolin Woodlands Resort. What reason will bring you back? For more information, visit nemacolin.com. We'll step aside once again the score. Central Penn 23, Beaver 18. It's USCAA basketball here on Turbo Sports. Back at it here in Uniontown. We've got a basketball game here. Men's D2 USCAA National Basketball Championships. Of course, there's D1 and D2 here at the USCAAs for men and women. D2 is non-scholarship schools. It's Central Penn and Penn State Beaver. The Knights of Central Penn lead it, and escaping is their guard, Anthony Claggett. Claggett long pass with a layup for Wes Kirkland. It's good. Motoring the other way is Marcus Royster. Royster finds Miller loose for three. He missed it, but the offensive rebound is put back up and in. That put back by Patrick Horton. He got it to go and the foul for Penn State Beaver. Horton, that's his first points of the game. He's got 2 and 2 rebounds. Checking in for Penn State Beaver. That's Marquise Samuels. He will send Royster to the bench. One shot here for Horton. Team trails by 5. Hold on, there's a whistle. And he's adjusting. He's making sure he knows what free throw line. I think that it looked like Horton was a step inside on that right line. There's a square on this court. You're not used to so many lines here. We're in the auxiliary gym. They call it Maltho. Shot is up, and the shot is missed by Horton. The rebound snatched out of the air for Central Penn by Will Workland. Up the other way, Workland. Kick out, and they'll swing it around. Handling is Drayton. Drayton for Claggett. Claggett back to Drayton. Drayton looks at it, moves around his screen. Drayton, kick out, Claggett. Back and giving it to Wilson down low, working on it as Workman puts the shot up. It went in and out, no good. And the rebound goes to Beaver. Nick Miller pushing the other way. Miller's been tough to get it going early here. Just 1 for 5 from the field, 1 for 3 from distance. Miller leaves it off for the jump shot that's buried by Weathers. Chris Weathers now has 11 points to lead all scorers. Half of the Beaver points belong to Chris Weathers. Kick out, corner left side for Keith Wilson. Back out for Claggett, and Claggett will wait. 8:45 to play. Left side, Wilson back out to Claggett. Swinging around for Drayton. Drayton into the corner they go on the opposite side, Kirkland. Back to Drayton, here's Wilson. Wilson will fire from 3, and he knocks it down with nothing but net. It's 28-22 in favor of Central Penn. Nick Miller goes to work. Miller, number 14, in the silver jerseys for Beaver. Moving around for now, Weathers. Weathers finding Samuels, faked a three, instead down low Miller. Miller picks up his dribble, back to Samuels, kick corner for Weathers. And they're going to be a blocking foul on the pass. 8-10 to play in the first half. It's 28-22. Central Penn leading Penn State Beaver. Some substitutions for Central Penn, as checking in is Dorsey. He's joined by Kevin Davis. Inbounding for Beaver will be Rob Agers. Agers kicks it out to Horton. And now here's Samuels. Samuels back to Miller. He's loose for three, and he makes him pay. Nick Miller, it was only a matter of time before he started hitting those again. His second three of the game. He had been a little bit cold, but it's now 25-28. Motoring up the other way is Anthony Claggett, taking it coast to coast for a reverse layup. 30-25 the score. Miller lost his handle and he tried to save it. He stepped out of bounds first. It'll go back to the Knights. 30-25 is the score. 7:44 to play here in the first half. And set to inbound. The opposite side will be Montez Lacey. Penn State, Beaver going to pick up full court. It looks like no, now their head coach, Marcus Williams, is calling them back. All right, so here's Anthony Claggett as the point guard. Claggett with a 5-point lead for his Central Penn Knights. Right side for Lacey, now over to the left. Here's Lamar Drayton. Drayton driving, stepping over to the corner, and Claggett didn't take the three. Instead, he'll get it back out. Dorsey, Miller went flying by trying for the steal. Dorsey tried to go low for Kevin Davis. Instead, Dorsey recovers himself. Opposite side, Claggett down low for Davis, goes to work, and he missed the layup, but Davis fouled. Davis, he's a big boy, number 56'3", but his strength is his mass. Davis only averages about 11.5 minutes per game, 4.5 points in those 11.5 minutes. The shot is up and good. He's a 43.5% free throw shooter. Davis has one more. Shot is up and the shot is good. So it's now 32-25, Central Penn leading Beaver. Rob Agers trots it up and will find Miller. Miller around a screen. Back left side now for Weathers. Weathers leaves it off Agers. Thought about a three. Instead he'll drive. Almost lost the basketball. Eventually over to Miller. Miller into the lane. Kick out now Weathers. Now Agers thinks about it. Will not take. Instead he drives and he's stripped on the play. Long pass ahead for Drayton, and Lamar all the way and lays it in. 34-25 the score. Nick Miller, his Penn State Beaver Lions walking it up. Beaver, number 14, around a screen. Handling with his strong left hand. Moving towards the point. In and out dribble. Spin move from Miller, and he got it to go. Nick Miller cuts the lead to 7. 6:16 to play here in the first. It's a 34-27 advantage for Central Penn. Lacey back to the right side for Claggett. This is Drayton. Drayton drives, looking at the opposite side. Lacey down low. Dorsey puts the shot up and he got it to go. Off the glass and in, and there's an injured Beaver Lion behind the play. It looks to be Julian Taylor. Taylor face down on the floor underneath the basket. Number 5 eventually does get up, and they're going to need to wipe up that sweat. We'll see if they leave him in or not. 5:52 to play here in the first half. It's a 9-point advantage for Central Penn. And as they wipe this up, Central Penn and their head coach Dave Baker are going to use this as a little impromptu timeout. 5:52 once again to play here in the first. 33 seconds on the shot clock when we get underway. They've wiped up the sweat. Keep an eye underneath that basket, see if anyone spills in the near future. And all right, Taylor will inbound. Seems to be okay. He's going to stay in the game. Nick Miller. Walking up. Miller picks up his dribble. Elbow extended for Taylor. Back to Miller. Thought about a three. Instead, he will look for his teammate Samuels. Samuels at the point. Looking for Miller. Sloppy pass. Miller spinning. Almost traveled, and instead he turns it over. Claggett going coast to coast, and Claggett can't hit. Rebound Taylor. Long pass ahead for Miller. Miller the trailer. It's Weathers all the way, and he missed the layup with a right hand. Now here comes Leonard Chester. Chester ahead for Lacey. Layup. Got it. Timeout taken by Penn State Beaver. 5:13 to play here in the first. It's the Central Penn Knights 38. Penn State Beaver Lions 27. 30-second timeout. It's been a little bit rough getting going here for Penn State Beaver. Dealing with the high-scoring Central Penn team that scores over 85 points per game. Beaver not that bad itself, 83 points per game. As defensively, this season they've given up around 75. So the stats would show us that we should be in store for a very high-scoring game between Central Penn and Penn State Beaver. 5:13 to go here in the first half. Once again, I'm Brian Gardner here on Turbo Sports. 38-27 the score. It's a round one matchup here on the second day of the USCAA National Basketball Championships. Penn State Beaver, the 4th seed in the D2 bracket for the men, dealing with Central Penn, the 5 seed. The freshman, the All-American Rob Agers. He'll walk it up. Agers right side for Miller. Miller around the screen. Now moving it to the left. Handoff back to Agers. He got it from Weathers. He'll find Samuels for a long two. No good. Rebound goes back to Montez Lacey. Long pass ahead. They're breaking. Drayton tried to leave it off, and he eventually gets it into the hands of Leonard Chester, who lays it up and in. 4:40 to play. 13-point advantage here in the first half for Central Penn. Miller right side for Agers, facing up around a screen. Miller. This is Agers now firing away from three, and Robert Agers knocks it down. 4:20 to play here in the first. The lead once again is 10. Central Penn has controlled, extending the lead of 5 since the last media timeout at 9:58. Down low they go for the big boy Davis. Davis couldn't handle it and is back out of bounds. They're going to say it will go back to Beaver after the timeout on the floor. 40-30 the score. Central Penn leading Penn State Beaver with 4:02 to play here in the first half. Fayette Penn and the Buy Local program of Fayette County are executive sponsors of the 2013 USCAA Basketball National Championships. The Buy Local Network is an economic stimulus initiative designed and driven by the local consumer, encouraging citizens to support local economy by buying from locally owned businesses. So to support the USCAA in Fayette County, be sure to buy local while you're in town. A list of Buy Local businesses is available at the concierge table in the main arena. We'll step aside. Once again, the score, 40-30. Central Penn leading Penn State Beaver. USCAA hoops here on Turbo Sports. Back once again here at Turbo Sports. I'm Brian Gardner handling the play-by-play. Alex Moore is producing, and Buzz Mead working the camera. 4:02 to play here in the first half. It's a 10-point deficit for Penn State Beaver. They trail Central Penn. The Knights on defense in their road maroon jerseys. Here handling the basketball is Horton. Horton left side, Miller for three, and he knocks it down. Nick Miller now has 11 points, 3 of 6 from distance, is the All-American guard. Handling the basketball now will be Drayton. Down low they go for Dorsey, and that's what he does best, putting the ball in the basket. Dorsey pushes the lead back to 9. And now here's Royster leaving it off for Taylor. Move it around. Taylor back for a 3 from Miller. He can't knock it down. Rebound goes to Leonard Chester. Up ahead, here's Claggett. Claggett. Opposite side. Drayton for 3. It's strong. Rebound kicks out to Claggett under 3 minutes now. Claggett down inside. Dorsey with a beautiful pass and a layup is missed, a late whistle. Chester apparently is heading to the free throw line. That was a little bit late to call that. It seemed like they waited until the shot did not fall because they didn't want to give a 3-point play, but instead they're giving free throws after the shot fell short of the hoop. Shot is up from Chester. He missed it. Chester now 2 for 3 from the free throw line. He's got 4 points and a rebound. Substitution as checking into the game is Arnold Connor. One more shot here for Chester. It's up and good, and Chester will head for the bench now as Wes Kirkland replaces him. So Agers to inbound for Penn State Beaver. Waiting for Miller to get free, and he gives it to him. And Miller, number 14, in the silver Beaver jerseys, will cross away from his defender. Moving it up here with 2:45 to play in the first half. They trail it by 10. Miller drives, spin move, a little hesitation off the glass and in. 2:35 to play, and Nick Miller now has 13 points. Sloppy ball handling into the hands of Royster, who drives, and he's going to be fouled. Looks like they're going to give him 2 shots. Marcus Royster, the junior 6-foot guard from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Royster, 3.5 points per game. He is just a 38% free throw shooter. Royster misses the first. 43-35. Here in the first half of this first round D2 game, USCAA's as he misses them both. The pass off the rebound almost stolen, but eventually gets to Lacey, and Lacey's going to take time. Penn State Beaver is applying this pressure, and they're making Central Penn uncomfortable, but they still trail it by 8 on this 30-second timeout. It's 43-35, Central Penn over Penn State Beaver. The historic Stonehouse Inn and the Ohio Pile Vacation Renters are the prime destination for parents and fans visiting the 2013 USCAA Basketball National Championships. The Stonehouse Inn is located in Farmington, Pennsylvania, offers a unique experience for its visitors and patrons. You can also enjoy a picturesque stay for one of many OVR rentals, each of which offers an exceptional convenience to the many attractions of the Laurel Highlands. USCAA thanks its newest sponsors, Stonehouse Inn and OVR. 2:18 to play. We're back to basketball here. Inbounding will be Connor Arnold. Arnold gets it over to the right side and back out to Drayton. Drayton, high post for Dorsey, kick it out for Drayton again. Calling for it is Lacey. He's not going to get it as Drayton turns it up court. Pull-up jumper on the kick out is no good from Kirkland. Rebound goes to Agers, who will push. Agers coast to coast, and he puts it up and in. Rob Agers. as it's now 37-43. Penn State Beaver trails by 6. Their bench calls for defense. The drive from Dorsey. Layup is missed and an offensive foul, as it looked like Julian Taylor took the charge. .138 to play as a Horna substitution. Dorsey to the bench. Looks like Workland is going to come in for him. .138 to play here in the first half of the basketball game. It's 43-37. Central Penn leading Penn State Beaver. The deficit is 6 for the Lions as we're set to get underway here. Minute 38 to play. 6-point advantage. Here's Miller. Left side and driving. Kicking out opposite side for Agers. Back to Miller. Spinning on the pass. Layup up and good. And the foul. Julian Taylor off the glass and in. Taylor has one more. He can cut the lead to 3. A minute and 27 seconds remain here in the first half. So Julian Taylor to the line, where today he has not attempted a shot yet. Taylor this season a 56% free throw shooter. As Taylor, after he gets the basketball, looks like one of his teammates telling him what the play call is. All of his Penn State Beaver teammates are behind him, no one down for the rebound. Taylor's shot is up, he missed it. Rebound goes into the hands of Workland. Workland will find Lacey. Lacey long pass ahead for Drayton. Drayton opposite side, Lacey. Now kick out into the corner. A 3 will be launched and a 3 will be missed by Keith Wilson. Rebound Agers behind his back, he'll push. Agers steps away and waits. Number 3 in the silver jersey, sloppy on the ball handle. Picks it up, right side they go now for the point guard, Royster. Marcus Royster, under a minute to go now here in the first half. 43-39 the score. Left side, they'll move it around. Here's Miller. Miller swings to the right corner for Royster, and that's a sloppy pass from Taylor. 50 seconds remain in the first half. There's a 15-second differential between the shot and game clock. 4-point advantage for Central Penn, the number 5 seed here in the D2 bracket. They will get it into Lacey. Pass up ahead, Wilson. Skipped it long. With the basketball is Kirkland. Kirkland back out to Wilson. Wilson steps and waits. High post they go for Will Workland. Workland, left side, corner now for Lacey. Lacey picks it back to Wilson. Wilson looking at his man down low. Instead, it's Lacey in the corner, airballing a 3. Rebound Miller. Miller pushes. Nick Miller, pull up floater, left hand got it. The lead is 2. Beaver, they trailed by as much as 13. Driving all the way is Wilson, and he gets it with some contact off the glass and in. Keith Wilson will have one more free throw. It's now 45-41. 11 and a half seconds to play. As Wilson will shoot. Keith Wilson for Central Penn. He's a 75% free throw shooter. 10 points per game this season. He missed it. Rebound goes to Agers. Shot clock is off. Up ahead for Royster. Kicked it back out. Launching the 2 is Horton. He airballed it. Saving it though for the alley-oop layup. And Royster got it to go. Mike Martin the save and the assist. He turned it into an alley-oop, a little tip in. And the lead will be down to 2 as we head to the half. Central Penn led by as much as 13. They now only lead by 2. It's the Central Penn Knights 45 and the Penn State Beaver Lions 43. We'll take a break. This first round D2 matchup here at the USCAA National Basketball Championships in Uniontown. It's halftime, but don't go anywhere. Before you know it, the second half, the play-by-play will be starting once again. Once again, the score: Central Penn 45, Penn State Beaver 43. It's USCAA National Championship Basketball here on Turbo Sports. Welcome back to Uniontown here on Turbo Sports for the 2013 USCAA National Basketball Championships. We've got a first-round matchup here on the second day of action in Uniontown between the Penn State Beaver Lions and the Central Penn Knights. Central Penn leading Penn State Beaver by 2 here in the, well, as halftime winds down. They led by as much as 13 in the first half. That lead has shrunk after a nice run by Penn State Beaver. Interesting statistical quirk. Both of these teams, the same exact field goal percentage, same exact field goal makes, same exact field goal attempts. In the first half, they were both 18 for 33, 54.5%. The difference lies in free throws, as Central Penn has made 5, and Penn State Beaver just 2. Penn State Beaver has also made 1 more 3 than Central Penn. We're back underway, and here handling the basketball is Marcus Royster. He had a nice little tip-in layup at the end of that after an alley-oop save from out of bounds. Here's an alley-oop looking for Weathers, and he can't quite throw it down clean, but it goes through. That was a design play to get Chris Weathers flying towards the basket, and he did throw it down. It was not the smoothest, but I still got a little bit excited. 19 and a half minutes to play here in the second half. For the other way for the Knights, laying it up and in is Lamar Drayton. Nick Miller will now push. Miller crosses and steps back. Looking down at Taylor. Instead, Miller's going to fire from 3, and he knocks it down. Nick Miller. He has 18 points to lead all scorers, 4 for 8 from beyond the arc. Here's a nice pass and a two-hand little layup there for Wes Kirkland, who puts it up and in for his 9 points of the game. They're going back and forth right at each other, two high-scoring teams. Miller steps back. He's going to set up the offense, directing traffic from the right wing. 18:45 to play in the second. It's a 1-point basketball game. The lead belongs to Central Penn. Here's Eggers, the freshman. Eggers will handle, leave it for Marcus Royster, who tried to go down low for Julian Taylor. He missed it, and then he compounded his mistake by fouling the ball handler, Anthony Claggett. That'll be the third foul on Taylor. He heads to the bench in favor of Patrick Horton. So they're going to extend a full court press with Miller at the front of it. Now it's going to fall back into man-to-man here, as there's going to be an offensive foul going against Anthony Claggett. He pushed off of his defender as Marcus Royster. That's his first, team's first of this half. As heading over to inbound will be Weathers. Back out from Miller. Miller walks up, crossing and handling with his off right hand. We'll go to the right side for Eggers. Eggers holding the ball over his head around a Miller screen. Now Miller's loose. They close out aggressively. Miller driving, tried to go backside. It's going to be a kick ball. Looked like it slammed to the knee of Montez Lacey. Intended for the backdoor cutter. That was Marcus Royster. Instead, now Royster will inbound. 18-13 to play here in the basketball game. It's a 1-point advantage for the Central Penn Knights. For Beaver, Royster going out for the bailout, just back long for Miller, who takes it well beyond the arc and sets things up. Miller crossing, goes high post. Weathers back to Miller. He's going to fire away from 3, and you know he's going to take that shot, but he missed it this time. Outlet, and here comes Drayton. Drayton backside for Claggett. Claggett will retreat and wait for his friends. Claggett on the left wing, out towards the point for Lacey. Lacey now right side for Drayton. Drayton cutting through for the shot is Kirkland. And Kirkland fouled on the attempt. He missed the shot, but he will have 2 free throws. Marcus Royster gets called for his third foul, the team's second. He'll come over and have some words with his coaching staff. 2 shots for Wes Kirkland. Kirkland in the first half had 7 points. Was the shot up and in. He's now got 10 after a layup earlier this half. This is his first free throw attempt, and he knocked it down. Kirkland on the season, a 70% free throw shooter. Solid numbers as he puts it up and hits. 3-point is the lead for the Knights, 51-48. Splitting the double team and pushing the other way is Weathers. Weathers back for Agers, and Agers now to Miller. Miller looking around. He's going to set things up. Nick Miller crosses. Now left side for Weathers and Agers. Agers in the corner. He finds his way out of it into the lane. He puts the shot up. They're going to stay on the floor. And a blocking foul will go against Central Penn. Agers set to inbound for Beaver. Again, number 3 in those home jerseys, the silver jerseys. This is the first game for Beaver and for Central Penn, a first-round matchup here in the D2 bracket. Here's a three-pointer attempted and missed by Mike Martin, and the rebound goes to Dorsey. Dorsey pushing the other way, a fake pass and a missed layup coming from Drayton is tipped around, and up and down they go with Miller. Miller pushing all the way. Miller left-hand layup, and he knocked it down. Nick Miller brings them within one once again. The bench chants out defense. Long pass up ahead. Dorsey back door for the missed layup from Kirkland. Kirkland blew an easy one, and now Weathers the other way. Here's a three from Horton, and he knocks it down. Beaver takes the lead, 53-51. It's a 2-point advantage for Penn State Beaver, the Lions. Anthony Claggett. It's the Penn State bench making that noise. Claggett finding its way over to the right side for Drayton. Drayton around a screen, and down he goes. Turned over to Agers. Agers on the break. He's stripped on the way up. They're going to say out of bounds. Last touch by Montez Lacey of Central Penn. Back behind the play, Lamar Drayton was checking himself for blood, thought he got hit in the mouth, and now they're going to have to wipe up some sweat where Drayton went down after that turnover. Bringing over a towel, the official will do the duty. 16-11 to go here in the basketball game. It's 53-51, leading the game, Penn State Beaver. Miller will inbound. Miller, the All-American. Gets it into Weathers. Weathers puts it up, and he's fouled. And looks like the Penn State bench wanted that to be a goaltending call, saying basket interference, that he hit the net and that threw it off. But I think that's a little bit of a stretch to be asking for that, and it'll just be 2 shots for Weathers. Weathers 12 points per game, a 55% free throw shooter. He's active, 4 rebounds a game as well. As the shot is up and he missed it. Some substitutions for Central Penn. Checking into the game, Leonard Chester and Keith Wilson. They'll send Drayton and Kirkland to the bench. One more shot now for Chris Weathers. Weathers puts it up and in, and the lead is 3 for Penn State Beaver. Lions fall back into a press here, and now pushing ahead as Wilson splits the lane layup, and wow, was that pretty as Wilson flipped it up on the underhand scoop shot. Miller shakes his player off. That's Wilson trying to defend him. Miller to the left. He spins away, and there's a foul. Looks like they're going to call an illegal screen against Weathers. For Weathers, it's his 3rd foul. Team started this half, 54-53. We've got a good one here on Turbo Sports. I'm Brian Gardner handling the play-by-play here in the second half of this basketball game between Penn State Beaver and the Central Penn Knights. The Lions of Penn State Beaver, the higher seed, the 4 seed here. As driving here will be Claggett. Claggett leaves it off. The layup is flipped up and in by Chester. Here's the freshman Rob Agers. Agers, 6'4", out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's a USCAA All-American this year. As he'll find his way into the lane, puts a shot up. They're going to say it's on the floor. As Agers really wanted the continuation, he won't get it. The bench seems to be actually more unhappy about that than Agers. So the foul will go against Devin Dorsey, the All-American for Central Penn. There's 3 of them in this game. And now Ager is set to inbound for Penn State Beaver. Into the corner, they'll swing it around. Left side, Miller. Miller drives, puts it up, and no, he's going to pass instead. That was a heck of a pass, but a missed shot by Horton. Rebound is stripped away by Miller. Miller sticking with it. He's trying to call a timeout as he goes to the floor, and he does so. Looked like the official may have been getting set to call a foul, but instead Miller will use that timeout. Going to be a 30-second timeout. Well, I got a second. Don't forget that you can capture all of the games from this national championship on DVD by going to our website at www.turbosportsgroup.com. This is Turbo Sports. I'm Brian Gardner handling the play-by-play. Buzz Mead working the camera. Alex Moore is producing. It's 55-54. Leading this basketball game, the Central Penn Knights. But they are clinging on for dear life to that lead here. And as it now looks like they're going to make it a full timeout, we'll go ahead and step aside. We're right back once again here on Turbo Sports. It's Central Penn 55 and Penn State Beaver 54. Back at it once again here in Uniontown. 55-54 is the score. Central Penn leading Penn State Beaver. We're on the campus here of Penn State Fayette. So in a way, a sister school. As inbounding here for Beaver will be Royster. Royster gets it back out to Patrick Horton, and Horton retreats for Royster. Royster has 2 points today, a rebound, and that's about it as far as his stats go. Here's Agers driving, step back, and he'll kick it back out for his teammate. That's Mike Martin. Martin drives, picks up his dribble, kick out Royster. Royster wanders into the lane, and a backdoor pass looking for Agers is knocked away. Back to the Knights. 14:31 to play here in the second half. Driving and leaving it off is Wilson. Wilson with a tough pass, and the layup is put up and in. Dorsey got the bucket on that one. And now Beaver trails by 3. Firing from 3 is Mike Martin, and he knocks it down. Tie basketball game. Beaver puts on the press. We're all square at 57. 14:04 to play. Wilson hassled by Miller. He gets it over to his teammate Claggett. Claggett into the front court, and a block shot on the attempt by Lacey. Miller got there. Now a jump ball. The possession arrow will favor Central Penn. We have a whistle and a timeout on the floor. 13:52 to play in the basketball game. We're all square at 57 here in this game between the number 4 seed Penn State Beaver Lions and the number 5 seed Central Penn Knights in the D2 bracket here at the USCAA National Championships on Turbo Sports. Back at it once again here in Uniontown, 2013 USCAA National Basketball Championships. D2 action here with the Penn State Beaver Lions trailing Central Penn Knights by it's all square, 57 aside. Leading all scorers with 20 is Nick Miller. Nick Miller has hit 4 threes for Beaver. Here's Anthony Claggett. Claggett's going to use a screen. Moving to the right side now is Chester. Chester back out to the point with Lacey. Lacey fires a 3 and misses. Rebound snatched out of the air by Mike Martin. Martin up ahead and pushing his Royster. Royster looking for a long lob there, and it was way out of the reach of Pat Horton, his teammate, the sophomore. Couldn't quite get there. So back to Central Penn, 57 aside. Motoring up the right side of the basketball court and driving all the way into the lane was Clegg, and he missed the layup. Rebound Chester, and he's fouled. And Leonard Chester makes his way to the free throw line. Foul will go against Mike Martin. That's Rob Aggers. Aggers just his first foul, the team's 4th of the half. 57 aside, 13-20. As the shot is up and hit by Chester. Now gives his team the lead. It's 58-57. The Knights leading the Lions. Shots up, and the shot is off the mark. Tipped around, and Miller having to fight his own teammate for it. It's out of bounds. Last touch by Beaver. Martin and Miller going after it. The ball caromed over towards us here courtside. Had to keep it from going underneath our camera stanchion. 13-17 to play. 58-57. Central Penn with the lead in the basketball. Beavers bench chanting out defense. Around a screen is Wilson. Wilson crossing back out towards the point. They'll move it over Dorsey and now Chester. Chester trying to go low for Dorsey. It's tipped away. Dorsey fighting after it. Picks it up. Long pass, and it's going to be an offensive foul as taking the charge on the pass was Marcus Royster. Devin Dorsey, his 3rd foul. Got 10 points. They'll send him to the bench. Checking in for Central Penn will be Will Workland. 12:53 to play in the basketball game. It's 58-57. The pace has halted here in the last few minutes after timeouts, media timeouts, wiping up sweat, loose balls out of bounds, a lot of stop balls. Beaver will have the basketball. And now inbounding will be Miller after this sweat is wiped up. Again, I'm Brian Gardner. This is Turbo Sports, USCAA National Basketball Championships. Beaver will inbound with Miller. Miller gets it over to his teammate Martin. Martin picks up his dribble and back to Miller. Eminem in the backcourt right now as Miller trots it up and gets it across. Right side they go for Royster. Royster back to Eggers. Backdoor pass for Miller. Kick out. The 3 is launched, and the 3 is missed by Martin. That'll be out of bounds as it hit the top. Like, Mike Martin really wants to be rocking the suburbs on those deep shots, but he's not hitting them the last few possessions. They're going to try and trap here with Eggers and Miller, but they get it across to the Knights. Back into the hands of Wilson. 12:22 to play in the second half. Facing up and looking at it around a screen, Workland. Workland is it off right side, and there's going to be a whistle and a held ball. Eggers grabbed onto the driving Chester's ball, and it will go to Beaver. And the possession arrow disagrees, but they're going to have to work on that, and the referee just actually announced for the entire gym, we just had a jump ball, it stayed here, so white ball. Didn't seem to have a lot of patience, must have been a long day for that man. As Eggers will inbound. Eggers looking for his point guard, and he gets it over to Royster. Royster trots up, ball in the left hand. He crosses and waits. Royster, left hand for Martin. Martin back out into the corner, eventually to Royster. Looking at Miller, posting up down low. Miller leaves it for Royster. Kick out Martin from the suburbs, and he in and out, just won't fall. The rebound tracked down on the move by Arnold. Arnold going for Wilson. Wilson leaves it off baseline Workland. Workland skips in. Shot is up. The shot dances and doesn't fall. Offensive rebound Workland. He's working hard again. Workland goes up, and he got it to go. 60-57. The right side now. Here's Martin for Agers. Agers aggressively attacking off the glass and in. Rob Agers banks it in, and it's now 60-59. Here's Arnold. Kick it back out baseline, and it'll be kicked by Beaver. The pass from Workland, he was looking for Lacey. 11:13 to play here in the second half. Some substitutions as Agers and Royster heading to the bench for Penn State. Julian Taylor's back in, along with Weathers, as here's the jump shot from Arnold, in and out, no good. Rebound pulled in by Taylor. Up ahead comes Miller. Miller thought about pulling up, instead he drives, shakes his defender, and Martin lost it on the way up. It slipped out of his hands, and up the other way come the Knights. Pushing on the wing. Here comes Lacey, two-step. It's blocked by Martin on the trail. Now Miller is going to be fouled. It's going to be a blocking call against Keith Wilson. 10:46 to play in the second half of the basketball game. Penn State Beaver trailing Central Penn 60-59. Once again, it looks like Miller and Wilson are going to try and get as much sweat up with their shoes as they can. And now we're back to play. Weathers to inbound, way back in the backcourt for Miller. Miller will be hassled by his sweat buddy, Wilson. Miller behind his back. Elbow extended for Taylor, back to Miller. Miller holds the ball over his head, leaves it off for a three from Horton, and the three is clanked off the left side, out of bounds on the shot, so it will go back to Central Penn. 10-29 as Miller to the bench. Checking in Royster. Now Agers will rejoin the game, sending Martin to the bench. 60-59, 10:29 to play. They will inbound over to the left for Montez Lacey. Lacey crosses the timeline. Looking to the left, he gets it off for Connor Arnold. Arnold, handoff Wilson. Wilson looking at his man, cut through. It's Lacey, and instead he'll keep it himself. Lacey retreats for the basketball. Now Arnold. Arnold going to fire from three. Arnold going to airball the three. It's out of bounds. It'll be last touched by Central Penn. Working hard, getting after it was Michael Troutman. He could not get there. Set to inbound for Penn State Beaver, Chris Weathers. Weathers smacks it, and they will break the two-man stack there into the hands of Agers. Agers motors up the court, holding off his defender. That's Arnold. Leaves it off for Weathers. Weathers going to set things up. No true point guard in the basketball game for Beaver. As right side here now is Horton. Horton swinging around eventually into the corner for Weathers. Down low, going up with the shot and missing the shot was Agers. The rebound goes to Central Penn. Long pass ahead. Wilson layup blocked by Weathers. They wanted to count the foul. The fans on my right, but they will not count the basket. That was clean. Up and under, missing the shot was Royster. The putback, no good, but a foul will be called. And Agers to the line to shoot two. That finger roll the other way. The fans to my right wanted a goaltend, but it was clearly a clean block. And we have a timeout on the floor. 60-59 the score. 9.5 minutes to play in the basketball game. Central Penn leading Beaver here on Turbo Sports. Back at it here in Uniontown, 2013 USCAA National Basketball Championships. I'm Brian Gardner here with Turbo Sports. At the line to shoot 2 free throws for Penn State Beaver, who trail Central Penn by a score of 60-59, is their freshman forward, Rob Agers. Agers today is 1 for 1 from the line. He's got 11 points and 4 boards, 2 assists as he knocks down the free throw. We're all square now at 60, and it's just freaky how similar both of these teams are shooting from the field. Central Penn 24 for 28 from the field. Penn State Beaver 24 for 29. It's almost exactly the same. Both shots good, and Beaver takes the lead. Here we go, left side now, handling it is Claggett. Claggett brings it across the timeline, gets it over to Drayton. Drayton crosses away from Miller and back out to the point for Wilson. Wilson around a screen, picks up his dribble. Right side stepping into a three is Troutman. Troutman misses it, and the rebound snatched out of the air by Marcus Royster. Miller pushes the other way. Down low Agers. Agers drawing contact. He'll instead try the pass. It does not find its intended target. Motoring up is Wilson, who will be fouled on a layup. Man, that guy's got some serious speed on him. Under 9 minutes now, 61-60 is the score. $8:57 to play in the basketball game between the Knights and the Lions. Shooting 2 for Central Penn, the Knights, will be Keith Wilson, a freshman from Newcastle, Delaware. Shot is up and good. All square now at 61. As checking in for Central Penn will be Wes Kirkland. Sends Troutman to the bench. 61 aside. One more shot here for Keith Wilson. Wilson's shot is up and the shot is good. 8:57 to play as the inbound. We'll find Royster and back to Agers. Agers going to take it all the way himself, and he lost the basketball. Last touch by Agers. It'll go over to Central Penn. The score is 62-61. There's 8:50 to play in the basketball game. With the lead in the basketball, the point guard for Central Penn is Wilson. Wilson throws it ahead, and it's out of bounds. They're going to say last touch by Beaver. Chester was the intended target. Looked like Julian Taylor got his hand in there to cause the deflection. Now Lamar Drayton. Drayton finds Keith Wilson to set things up. Left side now, Drayton thought about a three. And he's going to be fouled by Miller. A little bit soft they're getting here with the foul calls. That's the team's 6th foul in this half. Horn sounds, and checking back into the game is Devin Dorsey. Dorsey will send Claggett to the bench. Dorsey, a little bit limited because of foul trouble. He has 4 fouls, 10 points, and 4 boards for Dorsey, the All-American. High post is poked away by Beaver. Up ahead for Agers. Agers layup, good, and the foul as Agers was clipped behind the play. A little bit dangerous there as Kirkland got him, but no harm done and no love lost as the two teams there, as Kirkland picked him back up, seemed to be fine with it. 8:26. That's what the clock reads, and Agers with his team leading by 1, trying to make it 2. Puts it up, in and out, no good. Agers crashing for the board. It gets into the hands of Weathers. Missed the putback, missed it again. Tipped up and in by Agers. He lets out a roar, and 8:15. It's a 3-point lead. 4 points that possession for Agers. Pass over left side, Wilson. Wilson wears number 11 in the burgundy jerseys. Moving it to the right. Getting away from his man was Drayton. Back out for Chester's floater. No, tipped by Agers. Picked up by Miller. Under 8 minutes now. Here comes Miller. Miller right side looking at Weathers. Jab and pull up. Weathers' jumper, no good. And the rebound snatched for Central Penn the other way. Wilson misses the jump shot. Box out there by Taylor. Pushes it ahead for Royster. Royster into the lane, missed the layup. Up and down they go as the rebound put back up by Taylor, and he is fouled. Taylor once more from his bench in the crowd, waving his hands up in the air. He'll go to the line for 2 shots. To the line for 2 shots, Julian Taylor. Taylor has not attempted a free throw so far today. He's got 4 points, 5 boards. Throw it up and knock it down. Just a 56% free throw shooter. He averages 7 points per game. Lacey and Claggett into the game for Central Penn. Joined by Wilson, Drayton, and Dorsey. Here's Taylor for Beaver. Missed it. And no, there's a lane violation. He's going to get another shot. Looked like they whistled Dorsey for being in early. So just wash out that miss. Taylor gets another shot at it. Taylor will go through his motion once again. He is a 56% free throw shooter. And very fiery in this game as he puts it up. And he missed that one too. So no harm done for the lane violation. Penn State Beavers 66. Central Penn 62. 7:22 to play. Driving, here's Dorsey. He'll put up the floater and he'll can the floater. That one hit nothing but the nylon. They'll inbound it for Miller. Nick Miller up the left wing with a skip in his step. Behind his back goes number 14. He'll deal with Wilson. Left side now for Royster, and they'll swing it around. Eventually into the corner goes Miller. Down low, Eggers. Wheel into the post. He lost it into the hands of Royster. Missed the reverse. Royster couldn't get it to go. Eggers was fighting for the rebound. Eventually it goes back to Beaver. Here's a 3 from Weathers, and he knocks it down as it rattles home, hitting every side of the rim. 69-64. That's the score as a long pass ahead is handled by Drayton. Drayton drives in. They're going to call a foul. It's going to be a blocking foul against Penn State Beaver. Marcus Royster tried to take the charge, and he did not do so. And that will send Central Penn to the line with a 1-and-1. Checking into the game will be Mike Martin. He'll replace Royster. So standing at the free throw line with some shots ahead of him, Lamar Drayton. Drayton will shoot 1-and-1. He's a senior from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Just a 51% free throw shooter. The team as a whole only shoots 60. So Drayton, the guard, he will put it up and hit. One more shot here for Drayton. Checking into the basketball game, Will Workland. Workland sends Dorsey to the bench. Dorsey has 4 fouls. He has not been quite as effective as usual in this basketball game. Again, they're going to wipe up some moisture on the court. 6:35 once again to play here in the second half. Brian Gardner here with you on Torbo Sports. Thanks for being a part of this internet webcast. It's a 4-point deficit for Central Penn, and the shot is up and the shot is good. So 69-66. Inbound for Beaver. Here's Miller. Miller with a skip in his step. Up the right side, he will find Martin. Martin crossing, picks up his dribble, finds a cutting Eggers who almost lost his footing, and instead he's going to travel with it. He went up in the air with nowhere to go, tried to pass, and came down with the basketball. .6:20 to play. 69-66 the score. Again, there's a delay here for a sweat as a towel will be thrown out from Beaver's side. Looks like Coach Williams really not happy that he got him to stop the play to wipe up the sweat on the floor. Pacing the sideline with some comical expressions, if I can be frank for a second. 69-66 once again is the score as the pace has halted here at the Maltho Gym. Still working on that sweat over by the right block on the left side. To our left here, the offensive end for Beaver. To be fair, that is around the area where Agers went to the floor. They will pressure the basketball. Splitting that pressure is Claggett. He almost lost it, and Claggett now in the corner picks up his dribble. Long pass left side for Drayton. McMiller's down behind the play, back up and shaken up. Here's Claggett, left side Drayton, drives, leaves it off, and he tried to leave it for Dorsey, but no, picked up by Beaver. Here's Agers, and he flips it up. No, a lot of contact, no foul. Martin goes on the flip back, and he will be fouled, and Martin to the line. Nick Miller is doubled over at around half court. He looks to be in some paint. 69-66 the score. To the line for a couple of shots, Mike Martin. Martin, the sophomore from Dublin, Ohio. Plays about 21 minutes a game on average this season, almost 6 points. He's a 79% free throw shooter. Does his job. (70-66) the score. We'll try and make it a 5-point game. Will the sophomore. Martin's shot is up, and it's rattled around and does not fall. Rebound goes to Central Penn. Long outlet for Wilson. Wilson going to go coast to coast. Blocked, but a foul. And Wilson a little bit slow to get up, and now he'll be helped up by his teammates. 5:47 to play. So Mike Martin called for his first. That's the team's 8th foul. They are in the bonus. The penalty from the side of Beaver. And so 2 shots up ahead for Keith Wilson. Wilson puts the shot up, and he knocks it down. 5:47 to play here in the first half. Excuse me, the second half. As heading to the bench once again, Dorsey. Coming back in for him is Workland. Beaver leads it by 3 at 70-67. 5:47 to play. And the shot is up, but no, there's going to be a lane violation on the shooter. As coming in like as immediately as he let that one go was Keith Wilson. In too early, you got to wait for the contact. Inbounding Weathers, he gets to Agers. Agers wants him to clear out, and he'll just work on his man. His man is Lamar Drayton. As Agers gets it across. Left side now for Mike Martin. Martin rips it through. He'll find Miller. Miller right side, and they'll swing it around. Right wing, Agers looking his man down low. Back to Miller at the point. Miller leaves it off for Weathers. Layup is good. 5:21 to play. The lead is 5 for Penn State Beaver. Here's Wilson. Wilson brings it up. Double team quickly. Picks up his dribble for a cutting Workland. Workland lays it. Misses. Tip up is good. That was Anthony Claggett crashing the boards. The handoff looking for Miller, and Miller could not quite handle the basketball. It's out of bounds. Last touch by Nick. Taps our broadcast table, and we have our final timeout on the floor. 4:58 to play here in the second half. The score is Penn State Beavers 72 and Central Penn 69. We'll step aside once again, take a break here at 4:58 to play in the basketball game. Penn State Beaver leads it by 3. USCAA Hoops here on Turbo Sports. We're back live once again here from Uniontown on Turbo Sports. I want to remind you, anyone watching these games, that you can capture all the games from this national championship on DVD by going to our website, www.turbosports.com. The chant is defense. Coming from the Penn State Beaver bench. Left side, Wilson, corner. They'll kick it back for Wilson. Wilson fires in and out from three. Rebound, though, controlled by Lacey. Lacey will swing it back out for his guard. That's Anthony Claggett. Claggett to Lacey. Lacey fakes a three. Steps away from his defender. Left side, he'll go for Drayton. Drayton back for Wilson. Back to Drayton. Drayton, between his legs, he gets away from Miller, and he's going to be called for a double dribble. He picked up his dribble and tried to go again. .4:23 to play here in the second half. It's a three-point advantage for Beaver. They have the basketball. .72-69. Inbounding will be Weathers. Weathers went around a screen for Miller. Nick Miller still leads all scorers with 20. He has slowed down considerably. Robert Agers right behind him with 17. Here is Weathers. Weathers pull up for the jumper, no good. Speaking of leading scorers, he has 19, so that would have put him past Miller. But more importantly for Beaver, it would have given him a 5-point lead. .402 to play here in the second half. Right side corner for Lacey. Lacey will swing it back out Workland, and a timeout will be taken by Dave Baker, the head coach of the Central Penn Knights. 3:57 to play here. The score is 72-69. Leading the way for Central Penn, Keith Wilson has 13. Wes Kirkland with 11, and Devin Dorsey has 12. Dorsey with 12 points and 5 rebounds. He has 4 fouls. So they've been shuttling him in and out, trying to make sure he's available for this stretch run that we have entered right now. Don't expect to see Dorsey head for the bench anytime soon unless he commits that 5th foul. Once again, the shot totals eerily similar. Beaver 28 for 59 and Central Penn 26 for 54. They're separated by 3 points. Wilson to inbound. He smacks the basketball, waits for them to set it up. Instead, he'll just go into the backcourt and give it to Claggett. Claggett right side Wilson. Wilson steps away back to Claggett. Swing it around left side Lacey. Lacey back to the right for a three. It's launched by Wilson, and he ties up the game. We're all square at 72. Weathers working here on Drayton. He'll give it back to Agers. Agers crosses half court. 3:33 to play. 72-72 the score between the Lions and the Knights. The ball goes back to Agers. Agers drives, puts it up. He got that to go. It seemed like a bad attempt as Agers gets it to fly off of it. An awkward little floater with some contact. 3:10 to play. 74-72 the score. Going to work on the left side, Claggett. Falling down on the play was Miller. And now into the lane, Claggett. He lost the ball. It's going to stay with Central Penn. The Knights, they trail by 2 at 74-72. 2 straight close basketball games here at the Moutho Gym on Turbo Sports. Checking into the game, Marcus Royster. He will replace Mike Martin. Again, working on that sweat. Is doing the honors this time, Julian Taylor for the Beaver Lions. Inbounding will be Wilson. They'll set up in a box here as they throw it back out towards the wing. That's Anthony Claggett. Claggett steps and handles. Left side, they'll move it around the perimeter. Here is Keith Wilson. Wilson steps away. Ball on the right wing. Claggett picks it up, swing it around. Back out for Wilson. Wilson drives. One of the shot clock, and the shot clock violation will be called against Central Penn. Lulled them to sleep there. They didn't seem to realize that they only had a few seconds left, and actually Wilson was trying to pass when the horn sounded. 2:41 to play in the second half. The lead belongs to Beaver. Inbounding Agers. Agers has played the majority of this basketball game, but the pass is stolen away there by Lacey. Back to Wilson for the three in the lead. No good. Rebound Taylor. Taylor gets it over to his teammate. That's Marcus Royster, who will be fouled. Royster is one of 4 players from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on this Beaver Lions team. As Agers, also one of those Pittsburghers. The other line, he'll shoot 2. There's a discussion between the Zebras. The men in the striped shirts have to work something out. I think there's a discrepancy on who was fouled and who will be shooting. And they're going to change it up. Agers tried to make his way to the free throw line when it was Royster who was fouled. That would have been sneaky. So it was the head coach, Dave Baker, for Central Penn, who was providing the complaints there. As Royster, not a good free throw shooter, he missed the first, and they're going to... It was a 2-shot foul because they are in the double bonus, so that rebound didn't matter that Agers controlled. Keep in mind what a bad free throw shooter Royster is. An appalling 32% from the line. That's a guard. He missed them both. But the offensive rebound, Agers, no, they're going to call a foul on Agers. I guess he knocked the man down in the process. 2:33 to play here in the second half. The lead is 2 for Penn State Beaver. Seems to be some more discussion, looking like they're talking to the sports information people over the opposite of us next to the scores table. And now there will be free throws. It's going to be an endless march to the free throw line if the play continues like this. Lamar Drayton to the line to shoot. Drayton 2 for 2 from the line today. He's got 8 points. We have a buzzer, and there's still something that they're having to figure out here. It's a 1-and-1. That was what the question was. And now the substitution as they're sending Dorsey to the bench in favor of Kirkland. We'll go through his motion. The shot's up, and the shot is good. It hit off the front rim and fell. One more in a potential tie basketball game. Drayton is only a 51% free throw shooter. Number 5 in red. Bricks the second one. Rebound, though, controlled by Wilson. Wilson fouled on the way up, and he will shoot 2. It was Agers again. So for Agers, his 3rd foul. And again, they're wiping up the sweat. 2.5 minutes to play. The score is 74-73. We're waiting for them to get this sweat mopped up so we can have free throws upcoming here from Keith Wilson. Wilson, 75% from the line. Three for 4 today. He'll put the shot up, and he will hit it. Wilson will have one more. Shot for the lead, and he got it to go. 75-74, the score of the basketball game. Inbound goes to Beaver. Pushing it up the court is their point guard. This is Marcus Royster. Royster handling, and he moves it to the left. Royster, right side for Agers. Agers moves it around. Weathers, handoff goes back to Royster. The Chandler's defense as the Miller goes down, and he turned the ball over, and it'll go back to Central Penn with the lead. 2:08 to play here in the basketball game. It's 75-74. Central Penn leading Penn State Beaver. The Knights will inbound. Get it to Anthony Claggett as Claggett works against Rob Agers. Claggett has not yet crossed the timeline. The ball will, though, as he throws it ahead. And eventually down low, being stripped was Dorsey. Timeout will be taken by Penn State. Looked like it was Julian Taylor who came away with the basketball for Beaver. And it'll be a 30-second timeout, 1:53 seconds to play in the basketball game. We are separated by 1 point. The Lions and the Knights. Both these teams hail from this state of Pennsylvania, where we're broadcasting from now. Uniontown, PA, the USCAA National Basketball Championships. Penn State Fayette hosting. This is Penn State Beaver, a sister school. All branch campuses of Penn State University. Central Pennsylvania, of course, in Happy Valley. State College, PA. Horn sounds, and we're back to basketball once again. They'll make their way onto the floor. 1:53 to play. Once again, we have a whistle. And it looks like the official grabbing a towel because there's another wet spot. I can only imagine what it's going to be like for the last two games, because there are still two more games here at the Maltho Gymnasium today. Coming up next will be Albany College of Pharmacy dealing with the University of Cincinnati Claremont in women's D2 action. That's scheduled for a 7:30 tip, but that's only 6 minutes away. Generally 20 minutes between these games. We'll have that for you here on Torbo. Other way, here come the Beaver Lions, and there's going to be a foul on the pass as Royster was looking to the right side for his teammate Weathers. The foul will be called on Drayton. And to the free throw line, Chris Weathers. Chris Weathers, a 55% free throw shooter. To this point, he's 3 for 4. Got it. Heading out of the game for Central Penn will be Workland. He's replaced by Dorsey. Seems like they're doing an offense-defense thing with him there, as we're all square at 75. The shot is up, and the shot is good. 76-75, Beaver regains the lead. Here's Wilson. Wilson will get it over to his fellow guard, Lacey, and a long pass is tipped away by Beaver. Last touch they're going to say by Agers. Set to inbound Keith Wilson. Wilson will bring it up inside. Left side three is launched by Lacey. It's long. Rebound tipped up and pulled in Miller. Miller pushing. Two-step layup. And it just would not fall. Skipped around the rim. The other way now come the Central Penn Knights. Wilson got away with a travel. He hands it for the layup attempted by Dorsey. And Devin Dorsey to the line where he will shoot two. 1:15 seconds to play in this basketball game. 76-75 is the score. That'll be the fourth foul. Called, I believe it was on Julian Taylor. Dorsey will shoot two. Dorsey, number 23. He's had a very nice season. 22 points per game. He also pulls in about 13 rebounds a game. Fairly quiet today. He's been hampered by foul trouble. If he would have made that, it would have been 13. He'll stick at 12. 65 seconds remain as there's one more free throw here to try and tie up the basketball game at 76. Dorsey goes through his motion. Puts it up and it falls. And so we're all square at 76. 75 seconds to play. And a 30-second timeout will be taken. Once again, thank you for being with us here on Turbo Sports. I'm Brian Gardner, handling the play-by-play for this game. Don't forget you can capture all of the games from this national championship on DVD by going to our website at www.turbosportsgroup.com. Just to set the scene for you if you're just joining us, the score is tied at 76 between Central Penn and Penn State Beaver. We have a minute and 15 seconds with which to work. And Beaver with the basketball after one free throw was just made by Devin Dorsey before he went to the bench in favor of Will Workland. Dorsey's an All-American in the USCAA, but he's been dealing with foul trouble. There's a long pass ahead for Agers. Agers will wait with patience. Rob is stripped, and it goes the other way. Claggett picks it up. Layup, got it. Now Beaver handling it is Royster. They trail it by 2. Pass over for Miller. Miller doubled in the corner. He gets away. Steps through. Layup. Missed it. Rebound. Miller tips it around. Eventually pulled in by the Knights. We're under a minute at 44 seconds here. Skipping through his Claggett. Backside. A layup blocked by Weathers. It was Drayton attempting the shot, and there will be a foul as Weathers got hit hard in the midsection. Slow to his feet. Behind the play, there is an injured Beaver Lion. And that is Marcus Royster, and he is writhing in pain. Like no one had quite realized it because there was no contact, and those are the worst kind of injuries. It might be a cramp, actually. Looked like they're trying to stretch him out. He's kind of writhing back there. It's working on his left leg in some aspect. There's 31 seconds to play. I'm not sure if that's a knee injury or a cramp. Yeah, it looks like a cramp just the way they're trying to do that. And every time they try and stretch out the leg completely, clenching at his leg is Marcus Royster. They're bringing over some water, some Gatorade. So that would be the explanation. I did not see him go down. I was looking back at the other player who was down. As checking into the game will be Pat Horton to replace Marcus Royster. There's 39 seconds to play. It's a 2-point deficit per Penn State Beaver, who just lost their point guard to an apparent severe cramp. (78-76) the score. We're waiting for this all to be sorted out. I think they're bringing him water, and he's chugging that down like he has no tomorrow. They have to get him out of the area, though, because you can't have an injured player just lying there on the baseline. He is out of bounds, but couldn't imagine that they would play with Marcus Royster just lying there on his back. They're bringing him ice to put on his calf, it appears. Again, this is just me speculating that would be a cramp. By the way, if you're just tuning in now and trying to catch up with this game between, the next game, actually with the Albany College of Pharmacy and the University of Cincinnati Claremont, the women's D2 game. It was scheduled to start a minute ago, but we've still got Penn State Beaver, the Lions, trailing by 2 to the Central Penn Knights. The injured player right now is Marcus Royster. It appears to be a cramp, and now they're going to bring him a banana, someone from the sideline over there. That generally does actually help with cramps and with failing muscles, full of potassium. And so he will sit up now. See, at this point, I hate to sound callous, but just pick the guy up and get him to a safer location where he can recover. Because we're holding up the basketball game, we're holding up the tournament, and I know I've been there. Cramps, those things hurt. But at the same time, it's not like he cannot be helped, cannot be moved. It's the longest I've seen someone sit on the baseline with a cramp. like they're going to work on both calves, actually. Seemed like the left was the one that was getting the majority of attention. And now we got some fans clapping their hands saying, all right, let's get this thing going. The impatience is boiled over. The sympathy appears to be gone. My point here is his bench is about 15 feet away. Be easy to get him there behind there. He could be sitting down if he wants to on the ground behind the bench. Instead, they're giving him this treatment, and everyone is just waiting. Milling about over there. Once again, thanks for being with us. And now they're finally going to help him to his feet. And Royster looks like he will try and walk. He's standing under his own power, but no, he's going to be helped, and looks like he's going to, almost go down. They're going to half carry him over there. Going to give him some support. What they should have done a few minutes ago, and now we can get back to basketball. I really feel for the guy. I know that hurts. But you have to finish this game because we got a 2-point basketball game with 39 seconds. Just killed all the momentum. At the line after that icing, shooting 2 will be Weathers. Chris Weathers cans the first free throw. He was 2 for 2 on his last trip. He's now 6 for 7 today. Weathers will shoot one more and hit it. Tie basketball game at 78. 31 seconds with which to work. There is a 3-second differential between the shot and game clock. Right side handling Claggett. The Beaver Lions need one stop. Claggett back, almost went half court. With 21 seconds, they're going to take a timeout. Central Penn calls timeout with 21.2 on the clock. We're all square at 78, and we'll go ahead and take a timeout with them. 78-78 the score. Beaver and Central Penn here on Turbo Sports. Back at it here, tie basketball game 78-78 between the Penn State Beaver Lions and the Central Penn Knights. 21.2 seconds on the clock. There is a 3-second differential between the shot and game clock. Shot clock shows 18. Inbounding for Central Penn will be Keith Wilson. Wilson eventually gets it in. He gets it to Drayton and back for Wilson. They're going to spend some time here. Wilson waves the screener away, and now they know it's coming. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Wilson's going to have to go eventually here. Crossing, Wilson will drive it himself. Layup, he missed it. Rebound goes to the Lions. Miller taking it himself, throws it up half court for the win. No, and we are going to overtime. Penn State Beavers 78. Central Penn 78. We will play a 5-minute overtime period. The Knights and the Lions aren't done yet. We'll take a short break and be right back with a tip here in overtime on Turbo Sports. We've got some bonus basketball for you here on Turbo Sports. Central Penn and Beaver, Penn State Beaver that is, going to overtime here. A 5-minute overtime period is ahead of us. The score is 78-78. Leading all scorers with 23 points for Penn State Beaver, Chris Weathers. He will do the honor jumping against Devin Dorsey. Dorsey controls it for Central Penn, and we're back underway. Here's Wilson on the right side, getting it back up towards the point for Claggett. Claggett swings it to the left, faking a three is Lacey, and they'll move it back around right side. Now baseline they go. Kick it back out and move it to the left again. Lacey down low for Dorsey. Dorsey faced up, and he will be stripped and fouled. They're going to go a foul against Weathers. For Weathers, that is his fourth. There are three players on both teams with 4 fouls. Chris Weathers, Marcus Royster, and Julian Taylor for Penn State Beaver. Of course, Royster is out with a severe cramp. He will not return. Shooting free throws here. Missing the first half of the 2 shots is Devin Dorsey. He's one of the Knights with 4 fouls, joined by Lamar Drayton and Wes Kirkland. One more. Missed them both. Rebound goes to Beaver. It's Weathers the board. He'll push. Pushes off, and Weathers just fouled out. It's going to be an offensive foul going against Chris Weathers. And that is 5, and he will go to the bench, and that is big. Weathers will foul out. 5 fouls, 5 rebounds, 23 points. He had 2 assists, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 2 of 2 from distance, 7 of 13 from the field. 4:33 to play in this overtime period. With the basketball set to inbound will be Anthony Claggett. Claggett gets it to Wilson, and Wilson will set it up. 4:25 with which to work. Left side Claggett, all square at 78. Claggett handles and steps away. Move it around the perimeter. They'll move it back out for a 3 from Wilson. It's well short. Rebound goes into the hands of Miller. Miller handles and he spins away. Long pass up ahead for Drayton. Drayton kick out into the corner. Here's a 3 that will be knocked down by Pat Horton. 81-78. 3:55 to play in overtime. Beaver with the lead on defense in a 2-3 zone. Here we go, right side for Claggett. Claggett looking at his teammate. He'll give it to Lacey. Lacey retreats back out toward the point. Left side, Wilson. Wilson waits for the double team to come. Goes high post, Dorsey. Kick it back out for Drayton. Drayton for Wilson. Wilson drives up and under. He missed it. No foul will be called. Offensive rebound, though, put back up and in by Devin Dorsey. Other way with a 1-point lead for Beaver is Agers. And Agers lost the basketball. He fell down. Going up and putting the shot up and in will be Claggett. Claggett gets the lead back in the hands of the Knights. Miller trying to correct that for Beaver. And Miller comes up gimpy, and oh no, it looks like we have it all over again. Same spot and everything as Miller may have cramped up. It looked like he was hopping on that left calf. He was putting all the weight on one side. It could be an injured ankle. It could be a cramp. The way that this has gone, this long basketball game, the long minutes that Miller has played, he's approaching 40 in the game. They're stretching him out on that left leg, and here we go again. Bringing him water. We've been through this before. Meanwhile, Marcus Royster over behind the Penn State Beaver bench. Does not appear that he is coming back in the game. Now, what I wonder here is who they will put on the line to shoot, because I believe it would have been free throws for Miller. They're going to shoot him over some Powerade, I believe that is. Got a red bottle. We'll take a sip out of it. Get a little play-by-play of the cramp action, because that's been as much as basketball in the last 10 minutes. We'll see how long this one lasts. Of course, I feel jaded at this point because I've been through this with Royster, and I had sympathy at first, and then I'm like, all right, Marcus, get up there and get out of the area. Now it's the same thing for Nick Miller. Nick Miller is such a great player in this game. He's been very, very good. Really slowed down as of late, and now he's going to get to his feet. And Miller looks like he's washing down a banana with some Powerade. And I really doubt that they would let him stay in after that entire ordeal. Looks like he wants to go back in. He's stretching out that left calf. He seems to be fine. He's not limping at all. When Royster got up, he had to be carried over behind that bench, but Miller has walked onto the court, and Miller is looking like he's getting set to shoot free throws. And now there's going to be a Penn State Beaver timeout. So after all of that, a timeout will be taken, and we're going to go ahead and take a break. 3:10 to play here in the overtime period. Penn State Beaver trailing Central Penn 82-81 in overtime on Sorbo Sports. Okay, so back once again, and Nick Miller, the cramped man, the man who just spent about 2 minutes sitting on the baseline eating a banana and washing it down with Powerade. He's in the basketball game still, and he is going to shoot 2 free throws. Number 14, Nick Miller, he's been stuck on 20 points for quite some time as he bricks the free throw. That is his first attempt from the line today. Hard to believe with all the minutes he's played. He's sitting at about 38. One more shot is up and good. So we're all tied once again at 82. Anthony Claggett. Going the other way, the Penn State Beaver in a 2-3 zone. Miller will step out and look at him on defense. Here's Drayton. Drayton on the wing, moves it back towards the point. Left side once again, a 3 from Lacey. Missed it off the back rim. Offensive rebound taken out of his hands by Miller. Miller gets it back to Taylor. Taylor over for Mike Martin. Now Martin will hand it off for Agers. Rob Agers. 19 points and 5 boards for him. He lost it, stripped away, but he dove after it, has the basketball, tried to get it to his teammate. It's going to be last touch by Central Penn. And now it looks like Agers a little slow to get up. Seems to be okay. 2.5 minutes to play. We're still all square at 82. As Dorsey to the bench, Workland will check in. Again, the sweat. As you can see it on the camera, wiping up the sweat right at midcourt, where they had gone down. So inbounding now Beaver. They'll get it over to Miller. Miller retreating and going to work. Miller crossing away from his defender. He's shadowed here by Wilson. Miller's now loose for 3. How about 3? But no, they're not going to fall. The rebound pulled in by Kirkland. Handling the basketball, Anthony Claggett. Claggett right side for Kirkland. Will Kirkland back out to Claggett. Claggett faking and back to the right side. Faking a 3 now is Drayton. Move it around the perimeter. Wilson takes a step inside and pulls the trigger. Does not hit. Rebound Agers. Agers looked at here by Kirkland. He's going to get around him and he will be fouled. Will Kirkland going to be charged for the foul. That is his 3rd. So Agers back to the free throw line. He seems to be shaken up a little bit. He's walking back towards the three-point line and shaking his head. As Nick Miller is going to take this opportunity to get some fluids in him over on the other sideline. As is Julian Taylor. We can have more cramps coming out of Penn State Beaver. They'll run out of players. The shot was up and the shot was good. 83-82 the score. 1:52 to play in overtime. Shot buried. So Eggers increases it to a 2-point basketball game. 1:45 as Miller smacking the basketball court and getting in his stance. Right side, and now driving and stepping away will be Claggett. Claggett picks up his dribble, looking to down low Dorsey. Dorsey face up, here's the All-American, driving, floater, and he missed it. Rebound snatched out of the air by Eggers. The Lions will take their time. Here's Rob Eggers. Number 3 in silver gets it to Taylor. Taylor finds Martin. Mike Martin steps away, picks up his dribble, backdoor Miller layup, good! 86-82. 1 minute remaining in overtime. A 4-point deficit for Central Penn. Right side, here we go with Drayton. Drayton drives, layup, and it's cut down to 2. 86-84. They just traded baskets, and the lead remains 2. Eggers, the freshman, up the right side. He'll shake away from his defender. That's Lacey. Back to the right side from Martin. Martin around a Taylor screen. He loses the basketball, but Miller is there. 15 on the shot clock. Miller will be fouled. The clock stops at 32. 86-84. Nick Miller to the line. They're trying to give him water. It looks like they will. I can't believe the officials are actually standing for this. They're waiting and stalling the basketball game while Nick Miller gets a drink of water. If he can't go, if he needs to drink this much water to even be able to walk, he shouldn't be on the floor, but he's playing a good game. I'll give him that. He is tough. He's gutting it out, and he's at the line. He made 1 of 2 his only trip. That was earlier this overtime. Miller's first shot is good. .22 points from Miller. He'll bend his knees. The left-handed shot is up, and it hits the front rim but falls. 32 seconds to play. A 4-point deficit for Wilson and the Knights. Wilson spins, drives, kick out. Here's a 3. That is launched by Arnold, and he knocks it down. The lead is back to 1. Connor Arnold. A huge shot for the freshman, and the lead is 1 at 88-87. 23 and a half seconds to play. We've got players from teams that are set to play just milling about. They're watching this because there's not much else they can do. The previous game was set to start at 7:30. It is now 7:51. We're spilling over a little bit here at the Moutho Gymnasium here in this full timeout. We'll go ahead and step aside for the next 40 seconds. 88-87 the score. Central Penn trailing Beaver here on Shorebo Sports. .23 and a half seconds to play in this basketball game. We're in overtime. As Penn State Beaver with a 1-point lead. They lead the Central Penn Knights by a score of 88-87. Beaver with the ball and inbounding against pressure. The shot clock will be off, so you got to assume there will be a foul right away. They get it to Miller. He gets away somehow to Martin, and now Martin will be fouled. The ball was knocked out of his hands in the process, and Mike Martin to the line for free throws. Martin just 1 for 2 from the line today. On the season, a 79% shooter. The ball had been in the hands of Miller, who was just a 67% shooter. He saw Martin free in the front court, gave it to him. Shot is up and in and out. No, he did not hit. It rimmed a little bit, and so the lead remains 1. 18.3 to play in overtime as 3 new subs in for Central Penn. They'll go with Dorsey, Arnold, and Claggett, joining Wilson and Lacey on the court. One more shot here from Martin. Up and good. So once again, it's a 2-point basketball game. Here's Wilson. Time is working against him. His team is down by 2, 89-87. Down low, Dorsey layup, and we're tied. Clock will stop briefly at 7.5. Here comes Miller behind his back. Miller running out of time, gets it to Taylor. Kick out for the win. Horton and got it. Horton knocks down the shot. Pat Horton for the win. A 3 at the buzzer, and the game is over. 92-89 the score, the final score in overtime. Penn State Beaver wins a thriller over Central Penn. The number 4 seed advances in the Division II round here at the USCAA National Championships. What a cold-blooded shot from the sophomore Pat Horton from Para, Pennsylvania. Your final score from the Maltho Gymnasium. Penn State Beaver 92, Central Penn 89. What a basketball game as it's won on a buzzer-beating 3-pointer in overtime. A back-and-forth game, well fought. Once again, final Penn State Beaver 92, Central Penn 89. So for my producer, Alex Moore, cameraman Buzz Mead, this is Brian Gardner signing off from the Maltho Gymnasium in Uniontown, PA. 20 minutes from now, we will once again have basketball for you. Albany College of Pharmacy dealing with the University of Cincinnati Claremont and women's D2 USCAA basketball action. Once again, Brian Gardner is signing off on Turbo Sports. Until we talk again, have a great night.